Willie D Live.
It's all about living below those means. If you could do that, then you're going to be all right.
Let's say somebody's in their 40s or 50s and they've been working for a long time, but they haven't saved any money for their retirement. How could they start today to turn things around?
Well, you got to start saving. I mean, you can max out. They got tax deferred plans in the 401ks, IRAs, all that. You got to max all that out. You don't have to retire at 65. You could work a little bit longer. You know that you may have to do that. Also, factoring in the people don't understand most wealth in America has nothing to do with money. Most of your wealth is not just your money. It's your resources. You know, your family, stuff like that. So a lot of people when they go into retirement. The biggest part of my parents' retirement was not their investment in money, it was their investment in people. So the fact that they invested in their children years ago means now that they're older, their children will step up and take care of it and make sure that the gaps are filled in, right? So I think that when we have the conversations about relationships online and all that and guys calling each other simps and people talking about what they're going to do in their relationships, you got to understand that as you switch to different stages of your life, people that you chose to invest in or did not invest in, that's all going to come back later on when you get in your 50s and beyond. So I would say this to somebody in that situation, you're going to have to be real creative about it. You're going to have to deal with the fact that maybe you didn't do everything you were supposed to do. I think also investing for older people is also about sort of making sure that the next generation does not go through what you went through. So leaving an inheritance, having the life insurance policy, all that stuff should just be standard. Any man that cares about his family is not going to die leaving the family destitute. You do not do that. That is not appropriate. That is ridiculous, irresponsible behavior, and we got to kill that right now. So that's what I would say. Max out the savings, be creative, and you may have to work a little bit longer.
The market is down right now. Crypto's down. The stock market is down. How do you convince people, or do you even try to convince people to invest in the stock market, and especially crypto? There's a whole lot of skepticism about cryptocurrency. How do you convince people that cryptocurrency, you being an avid crypto investor who has made a lot of money doing crypto, that crypto is not a scam? Overall, I know that there's some scam coins out there. There are some scam coins out there, but how do you convince people overall that the concept of cryptocurrency is not a scam?
Well, you know what? I'm not really in the business of convincing people of much of anything. I am here to share information. I want to convince people to get the information so they can think for themselves, right? But if you talk about, let's talk about crypto. As you mentioned, all cryptos are not equal. There was about 12,100 different cryptocurrencies that disappeared when the crypto winter started because these coins, these projects were not strong enough to sustain themselves. Some of them were scams. And you've seen some big high-profile situations like FTX, and I think Shaq just got sued over FTX, and it's a $5 billion lawsuit. So just people should understand that's not insignificant. Like,
and they're talking about relaunching FTX. Did you hear? I know you heard about that.
I did hear about that, and they could. Believe it or not, they could pull it off, but
I wouldn't touch it.
Right,
I wouldn't touch it.
There's a lot of stigma attached. Yeah, but that $5 billion lawsuit with Shaq and Tom Brady and everybody else, that's not a tiny amount of money. You know, if they really won $5 billion, that will wipe Shaq out. You know, like hopefully his assets are protected and all that, but still, you know, so the point is to say that with crypto, the bright spot to me is that even as all the other cryptos were just plunging straight to hell, Bitcoin remained pretty strong. The fact that Bitcoin stayed above 15,000 per coin. Remember, 15,000 was a massive price for Bitcoin just a few years ago. It was unheard of for Bitcoin to hit 15,000, right? So the fact that Bitcoin maintained so much of its value during the crypto winter tells me that once the economy changes, because this too shall pass, economic conditions change all the time, that once things change, the sun comes back out, people start feeling good again about investing, they start coming back outside, so to speak, I think Bitcoin's going to go crazy. I think Bitcoin, so when I'm investing in crypto, I'm hitting Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm aiming for the quality. I'm not really messing with a lot of coins I don't understand. And the other thing, too, about crypto is I don't put more than 7% of my portfolio in crypto. So people that, put all their money in Bitcoin or something, that's very bad investing, because if something does go wrong, you're in trouble. The biggest thing to understand as an investor is you got to understand, it's just like being an NFL football player. You can't play in the NFL without knowing at some point you're going to get hit. At some point, you're going to get hurt. It's going to happen, right? The best you can hope for is that you take a bunch of hits and you win a couple Super Bowls along the way. And that's what investing is. And so people that think investing is always clean and easy, those are the ones that make the biggest mistakes. They get scared. The market goes down. They run away. They sell everything. And here's the thing. When people try to convince me that, oh, this is the big one, the whole stock market is going to crash forever and all that, I just ask them a simple question. I say, can you name one time in American history that the stock market went down and did not come back up? I said, tell me about one time where that has happened. They cannot give me an answer because it's never happened.
Well, and you're absolutely right. And this is why I'm so confident in the stock market. Not so confident in crypto. Although I am an investor, a big investor in crypto. But most people don't believe that crypto is created equal.
Crypto is different. You're right. Crypto, the deficiency with crypto, and I'm speaking more as a researcher in this field, because when I was at Syracuse University, that was all I studied was stock markets and all that. Mm-hmm. The benefit of the stock market is that we have like over 100 years of history that we can look at in order to understand how it operates in certain conditions, right? Crypto, we don't have that. So crypto is the unknown asset. But here's the thing, right? Crypto could disappear tomorrow and be gone forever. But what if it doesn't disappear? What if crypto lasts? It's like you're one of the greatest rappers of all time. You're the greatest rap group of all time, Ghetto Boys, one of the greatest, right? And you were rapping at a time where people didn't know if hip hop was going to last, right? Remember people like, oh, hip hop's a fad, it's going to go away, right? It wasn't, right? But it could have gone away. It could have been a fad. You just don't know, right? So why do you invest? Well, you invest because you're like, well, this thing may not work out, but what if it does? And if it blows up, I don't want to miss it. And think about this. Yeah. If you have $100, you can either take that money and just spend it, which means you're not going to have anything to show for it, or you take the $100 and you say, well, let me go buy some crypto just in case this thing blows up. So if it doesn't blow up, then it gets wasted, just like it would have been wasted if you had spent it. But if it does take off, then that 100 may turn into 1,000, 10,000 or more. Right. Yeah. So you just don't want to miss the party, because that's the problem with investing. People show up to the party late. They start investing in stuff when they see it in the newspaper. Oh, this is taking off. I'm going to buy some. Well, by then it's too late.
You buying, I'm selling.
Exactly.
At that point.
Exactly. Warren Buffett, one of the best investors of all time, he said, basically with investing, you want to do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. Right. This is why investing isn't for the sheep, investing for the people that can think for themselves. Right. So he said, when other people are greedy, he said, you should be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. Exactly. And so when everybody else is running out the door trying to sell, that's when the smart investors are buying things up. Because they want to get it cheap. And then when it takes off and it's making money, then all the people are coming to buy it. They're like, okay, you can buy mine because I've already made my money. I'm going to get out now because the price is too high. So you got to think a step ahead of everybody else. You never buy umbrellas when it's raining, because that's when the price of umbrellas goes up. You buy your umbrellas when it's sunny outside.
Man, you know what, man? You're damn near an analogy king. Like expert, man. You got so many analogies, man. Like, did you train yourself to do this, man, or is this just something that comes natural?
You know what it was? When I was teaching college students, I had to find different ways to help them understand complex ideas. And I was trained that you don't really understand an idea unless you can explain it to like a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old. And what I found about wealth and money and investing is that most of the concepts of investing are things that we've known our whole life. But it's just when we see it in a formalized way, it becomes very intimidating, right? So, for example, diversification means that you spread your money out so that, your asset, you don't lose all your money in one place, right? It can be very mathematical, very complicated. But really, all it means is don't put all your eggs in one basket. And you know that. You've known that your whole life, right? Or if I talk about risk, everybody knows what risk looks like. Everybody knows what it feels like to be in a risky situation, right? And so rather than explaining it in the formal way, I'd rather relate it to, like, I don't know, dating somebody you think is going to break your heart, because that's more universal.